Welcome to an introduction to Part 2, the Regenerative City of the Environmental Sustainability Planning Guidelines. My name is Scott Edmondson, a certified planner and author of this part of the guidelines, prepared by the APA International Division's Ukraine Rebuilding Action Group. The details of this integrative approach are presented at the group's website, including notes and resources for deeper understanding and practice. This presentation will cover 4 topics: an introduction to the challenge and opportunity we face in 21st century planning, the key concepts of the new regenerative city approach to sustainability planning, best approach practices required to shift from the current approach to the new one, and conclude by highlighting the keys to success. We begin with the introduction. In the 21st century, humanity faces 2 interrelated defining challenges: visible accelerating climate change and invisible declining sustainability. International agencies and scholars have documented these challenges in many reports and conferences over the past 50 years. How we respond matters, and how quickly we respond matters. Ukraine faces a choice in how to build back better and what to build. That choice will affect the extent of life support security and prosperity in the face of these 21st century trends. The purpose of the guidelines, Part 2, the Regenerative City, is to illuminate a new emerging approach, a new response option, with the potential to respond effectively to both challenges simultaneously. Humanity's response to the challenges of sustainability over the past 30+ years appears to be achieving some objectives, such as green buildings, electric vehicles, etc., but the goal, sustainability, appears to be elusive. Understanding the reason for this predicament determines our choice of effective response. Are we simply responding ineffectively with an approach that could be successful, therefore we simply need to execute better? Or is our approach intrinsically ineffective? Could it ever be successful, regardless of implementation efficiency and effectiveness? In this case, we need a new approach. Our current approach, sustainability as usual, only reduces impacts, but does not eliminate them. They continue to accumulate in total. Thus, the approach has a net negative effect. Logically, its approach and method can never produce sustainability. Sustainability as usual does not address the root source of the problem, the economy's current processes and materials. They are destroying the Earth's only regenerative life support system. They are producing the challenges of climate change and deteriorating sustainability. In other words, life support insecurity. On top of all that, they are not and will not ever be productive enough to support the world's population. Taken to the limit, and simply put, they crash the biosphere and economy. Making the right choice now of method is critical. Fortunately, a new effective response is emerging from innovative practice, the regenerative city. Yet, it needs to be recognized, advanced, and scaled quickly. Ukraine's opportunity is to build back better in a way that leads to sustainability success in the face of the 21st century challenges and humanity's sustainability predicament. This will involve taking a regenerative city approach to urban regional planning and a regenerative system sustainability approach more generally. In so doing, Ukraine will leapfrog to climate change and sustainability success by rebuilding a regenerative built environment, which is also the core foundation of the circular ecological economy required for sustainability. As a result, Ukraine will become a global beacon of success as it demonstrates an effective integrative response to our challenges that creates the foundation for life support security and prosperity in the 21st century. In this next section, we will cover some of the key concepts of the new approach that is emerging from innovation in urban, regional, and sustainability planning. Regenerative city is a better phrase and the necessary approach to planning and producing the sustainable city. The phrase has higher definitional value. It reveals the operational principle at the heart of sustainability, regeneration, living systems regeneration in particular. This nascent approach is emerging from innovation in planning, design, and sustainability practices over the past 20+ years, from attempting to achieve sustainability. It needs recognition, cultivation, development, and scaling quickly. It has 2 parts: a general method, regenerative system sustainability, and specific applications. It becomes regenerative urbanism and regionalism when applied to urban and regional planning. It is necessary It is the only approach with the logical potential for success in addressing the larger challenge of accelerating life support insecurity arising from the interrelated trends of advancing climate change and deteriorating sustainability. A regenerative system sustainability approach, that is regenerative city, has the logical potential for success. All we need to do is understand it and execute it effectively. It produces full system sustainability, not partial fake sustainability. Applied to urban and regional planning, it produces the regenerative built environment, city, and region, which in turn is a core component of the circular ecological regenerative economy needed for sustainability. Applied to the economy, that is products, services, public policy, it produces the circular ecological economy, which in turn is the essential foundation of sustainability, a sustainable world and future. In addition, it holds the prospects for simultaneously solving the twin interrelated challenges of accelerating climate change and deteriorating sustainability. Not only does it reduce GHG emissions to zero before 2050, it creates the ecological economy needed for continued, even accelerated, sustainable socioeconomic development and prosperity. This last point is critical for securing the global collaboration needed to reverse climate change. But how does this regenerative city approach work? How do we respond effectively to this predicament of humanity's sustainability response to date? We must address the root cause of the problem. We must redesign our economy and cities to produce the metabolism of sustainability, of regeneration, instead of its opposite, degeneration. The challenge is much larger than simple GHG reduction, if one can call that simple. Thus, we need to understand and pursue the larger challenge and program, which is redesigning our economies, processes, and materials to eliminate the destruction and pollution of nature, its natural capital, and its regenerative life support processes. This is a minimum requirement of the much touted net zero objective that we hear so much about. Better yet, we redesign economic processes and materials to have a net positive impact that enhances and expands life support capacity of both nature and the human economy. We begin by creating a regenerative built environment. Doing so eliminates climate impacts, builds a foundational component of the local sustainability economy, and demonstrates the innovation to use to achieve complete success from local to global scales and across the economy. The next question and task then become how to redesign our economy and cities to produce sustainability. Obviously, this is no small task. It may even sound impossible. Yet, we design the current economy as it functions now. It is producing accelerating climate change and deteriorating sustainability. And we can redesign it, and we must redesign it. That is our assignment if we accurately read the effects of human action on the world. Our current economic processes and materials cannot continue indefinitely. The three primary steps of regenerative city planning involve using nature as the design template, planning and designing two regenerative systems performance imperatives, and creating the regenerative built environment and associated economy. Urban planning and design have a pivotal role to play in launching the work, given the foundational role a regenerative built environment plays in catalyzing success. We use nature as the design template. Nature is both form and function, that is design, and process, that is economy. We can learn from nature, use its regenerative life support system, principles, materials, and processes to invent new net positive designs, configurations, and economic processes. We shift from producing partial part sustainability to full system sustainability. In part sustainability, we have a few sustainability characteristics, but many characteristics will continue to destroy nature. In system sustainability, parts have no characteristics that destroy nature. They're designed to enhance and expand the life support capacity of nature, and in turn, if we use them, the human economy. These are the parts that we need to design and invent. These moves begin to create the new circular ecological economy that sustainability requires, of which a regenerative built environment is a foundational component. In step 2, we shift from using the goals of parts sustainability with their net negative effects to using the performance imperatives of regenerative living system sustainability. They are the North Stars that produce system sustainability through our design and innovation. Renewable energy, organic food production, no waste, continuous material cycling, no destruction of nature, making decisions based on full cost and benefits with externalities internalized. As we innovate to these systems performance imperatives, we take the biggest steps possible in each instance, with each new strategy, plan, policy, project, product, and service, and with each act of maintenance, repair, renovation, and replacement. In step 3, we use the regenerative systems sustainability imperatives to plan, design, and produce the regenerative built environment. That produces the urban metabolism of sustainability, which in turn is a core component of the ecological economy of sustainability. Together, they are the foundation of sustainable cities, and they catalyze an ongoing transition to sustainability throughout the city and economy. We can begin by using existing best green planning and design practices developed from innovation to date. See Guidelines Part 3. Then we can incorporate and extend them in the regenerative city approach. We develop new design configurations to achieve the highest performance attainable in each plan and product. The exercise is fundamentally a design challenge. Additional aspects of creating regenerative built environments include pursuing ongoing innovation to bridge the gap to ultimate system sustainability, beginning now by choosing the regenerative option for current maintenance, repair, and replacement decisions, addressing the existing built environment too, not simply new development. After all, the existing built environment is generating all the impact at the moment. And then we use best approach practices to be discussed in the next section to shift from the old net negative to the new net positive approach. The key points of this section 2 on the regenerative city approach are as follows. We create regenerative built environments by changing from our current net negative approach to a net positive regenerative city, in other words, a regenerative system sustainability approach, which simultaneously creates the foundation of the sustainable city and the sustainability economy. It's the only method available with the potential for climate and sustainability success. Creating regenerative built environments is a game changer for urban planning and design and society. It dramatically increases the value produced from traditional land use efficiency and design aesthetics, which are often value engineered out, to creating the physical place, urban metabolism, and economy of sustainability, which creates the basis for inclusive prosperity and community well-being. It changes the role and increases the value of planning and design and of urban planners and designers. They become society's expert professionals in delivering sustainability, a role and expertise requiring accelerated development. In this next section, we shift from the challenge and key concepts to an overview of an initial set of 10 best practices for regenerative city planning, also known more technically as regenerative living system sustainability and regenerative urbanism when the general approach is applied to urban planning. A distinct set of best approach practices, or BAPs, are needed to change approach and method in order to quickly rebuild the foundation of life support system security, prosperity, and community well-being under the increasingly challenging conditions of the 21st century. Since the need is to shift our approach, not simply invent techniques within the current approach, these practices are labeled best approach practices for regenerative city planning. They are not our current best technical practices listed in Guidelines Part 3, focused on accomplishing specific functionalities such as stormwater retention, energy efficiency, or living buildings. They are the practices needed to shift from the net negative effects of our current approach to the net positive effects of sustainability success. The idea is that these cross-cutting approach practices will also be used with best technical practices to spur technical innovation. Using the BAPs will produce the regenerative built environments, cities, regions, and economies of climate and sustainability success. There are 10 best approach practices. Practices 1 and 2 directly address regenerative urban planning and design. The other 8 practices are required for complete success. The first practice focuses on key aspects needed to change approach, that is, planning and designing to regenerative system sustainability performance imperatives, continuously innovating to ultimate success, taking a strategic approach, and using whole systems engineering. The second practice focuses on creating the regenerative built environment of a regenerative city region, and we'll dive into the details of that one shortly. Practice 3 focuses on hardening the socioeconomic systems of cities and regions to defend against the increasingly hazardous conditions occurring over the long period of climate system recalibration. Practice 4 involves restoring nature damaged from past practices, but in the context of new nature arising from accelerating climate change and associated ecosystem changes. Practice 5 involves pursuing problem solving across the whole system as necessary for each initiative when barriers to success exist in other levels, areas, or jurisdictions of the system. Practice 6 requires planning and designing for the new context and conditions that will arise from accelerating climate change, unsustainability, and new nature, not simply presuming the static familiar conditions of the recent past will continue in a no change or no change future baseline case. Practice 7 involves harnessing the dynamic market and the legal system to generate correct price signals and rules needed to reverse climate change and unsustainability and accelerate the transition to an abundant, regenerative ecological economy. Practice 8 involves continuously innovating to needed systems performance. This will need to occur at different levels: project, plan, industry, policy, locally, nationally. Practice 9, design new governance modes and vehicles to generate the societal learning and decision-making capacity needed to produce a regenerative built environment, city, region, economy, and settlements. Practice 10 would use full cost decisions and 10-year budgeting to fully fund the regenerative built environment and city in perpetuity. Now, we will review the sub-practices of BAP number 2 in more detail to better understand how to create the regenerative city. In practice 2.1, we begin shifting to a regenerative approach immediately by using existing resources, budgets, expertise to fund the regenerative options available now for the maintenance, repair, renovation, and replacement of existing infrastructure. With practice 2.2, we reinvent the comprehensive plan as a strategic regenerative city plan and process to create the regenerative built environment and then prepare one. In practice 2.3, we identify and make the big regenerative context shaping and reshaping moves, such as developing district water with heat exchange, coordinated blue-green infrastructure, connected blocks and buildings, and integrative metabolic centers. In 2.4, we extend the regenerative system sustainability approach from the built environment to the rest of the city to create complete livable places. We extend the planning horizon to 100 years. We apply the approach to all the components of a regenerative city. With engaged stakeholders, we formulate a vision and develop the additional performance imperatives of regenerative livability. We use a living community approach and patterns for regenerative neighborhood design. Formulate the new zoning ordinance and design guidelines of regenerative urban system sustainability, the regenerative city. And we formulate the comprehensive plans, zoning codes, and guidelines to optimize desired performance across the primary urban subsystems of land use, density, and transportation. In BAP number 2.5, we renovate and repattern the existing built environment, not concentrate solely on new development. In 2.6, we build resilience, community, and justice through the engagement required to plan and build the regenerative city. In 2.7, we use modern GIS and geodesign practices to leverage the modern tools of system simulation, visualization, and engagement to develop and scale regenerative city planning quickly. In so doing, we would advance the next generation of planning practice, digital urban and regional planning and design, to produce the enhanced processes and decisions needed for success. In summary, with this set of 10 best approach practices and their sub-practices, we will change our approach and respond effectively to our climate and sustainability challenges by producing regenerative built environments, cities, regions, and economies. Essentially, this presentation of the regenerative city approach is an invitation to sustainability success, to question the effectiveness of our current approach, and to make adjustments. The key moves of a regenerative city method are: first, start where we are with current green best planning and design practices and the innovation that produce them. We stop value engineering them out. We include them for the full benefits they produce, principally creating the economic foundation of sustainable cities and regions. Second, we start planning and designing to the performance imperatives of regenerative system sustainability. This shifts us from producing limited part sustainability to whole system sustainability. Then we develop the practices of continuous innovation across planning, projects, and time to ultimate success. Third, we reinvent the comprehensive plan and implementing tools to create regenerative built environments and the urban metabolic and economic foundation of sustainability. Fourth, we create the new forms of governance needed to manage, lead, and champion the complex process of regenerative city planning to produce sustainable cities and regions that achieve climate and sustainability success. Key points of this proposal are as follows. We must address climate change so the solution accomplishes two objectives: eliminating GHGs on the required timetable and continuing economic development, not slowing or delaying it. Addressing the climate challenge with regenerative system sustainability is the only way to solve the crisis effectively while simultaneously addressing economic needs. The regenerative city approach emerging from innovation practice can address them together by creating the regenerative built environment of sustainability, which also creates a core part of the sustainability economy. This will be the best platform for 21st century inclusive global prosperity. In addition, it will demonstrate and catalyze innovation system-wide. This presentation is one perspective on Ukraine's opportunity and path to success. That is, leapfrogging to climate change and sustainability success by rebuilding a regenerative built environment, which also creates the core foundation of the circular ecological economy of sustainability. In so doing, Ukraine becomes a global beacon of success, from responding effectively to humanity's current sustainability predicament and to our 21st century interrelated challenges, by reversing climate change and producing system sustainability in its rebuilt, regenerative urban and regional built environments, communities, and economy. In conclusion, I'd like to thank you for listening to this presentation and entertaining its propositions. The presentation highlights key points that the Guidelines Part 2 develop in the detail needed to begin using them to formulate rebuilding policies, programs, and initiatives. For questions about this approach, please email me with a CC to Tim, and for questions about the whole Guidelines and larger APA International Division initiative, please email Tim Van Epp. I look forward to hearing from you and wish you success in shifting to this promising and necessary regenerative city approach.